I am so excited today because I get to sit with someone that truly embraces how you can bring balance and excellence in real estate. I am going to be interviewing right now Marty Pettiford. She's in Atlanta, Georgia. She's top 5% of the entire state, and she's been excelling in this year that we're just closing up in 2025. She's going to be closing over 50 million in transactions. She's a mom, she's a wife, and she's a CEO of her real estate business. And today she's going to be sharing with us her strategies, her mindset, how she just balanced that, juggling all of that. So if you're thinking about you're a mom or you just have so many responsibilities, how can you do real estate and do it well? She only stayed 1 year doing part-time and went completely full-time in this business, and she's a rock star. So I cannot wait for you to see this interview. You're going to be inspired, and not only that, but ready to take action. Hey everybody, now you do get the chance to meet this amazing lady and leader and a local support here in the Atlanta, Georgia area. Also, I'm very lucky to call her a friend, that we met through this, real estate world. Super grateful, but here we have Marty. Hey lady, how are you?
Very, very well. Thank you. I'm excited to be on your channel, and I will just look forward to this wonderful chat that we're about to have.
Oh, me too. I'm super excited because whoever gets to watch, they're going to be like having lots of ideas because, you're super creative. I love how you work your brand, your success that you've been having. So let's just kind of dive into just kind of sharing a little bit of your story. Obviously, I gave you all your highlights of the amazingness that you're doing, especially this year of 2025. But can you just kind of share with us, who's Marty? What were you doing before real estate? Why did you think about real estate? And, so let's just kind of walk through it.
Yeah, so I am out of Atlanta, Georgia. I'm born and raised here. I'm a Georgia peach. And I am a wife, a mom. I love to have fun. Like that is my core. And I got into real estate 4 years ago. I think. Yeah, 4 years ago. And I did it because I felt like I was trapped in my job. I went from corporate to retail management all within the same company. It required a lot of hours. When I got my license, I had literally just given birth and I was wanting to be with my daughter. And I just could not do the corporate rat race that I was in. Like I was just tired of the carrot being dangled in front of me. And before I got to that point, before I even got pregnant, I knew I wanted to go into real estate and I knew I wanted to do it part time to see if that was a career that I could make work. So I had already started my journey to getting my license, but then COVID happened. And when COVID happened, um, it kind of just threw my work life just kind of took the forefront and work wasn't as bad as it actually it became a little bit better during COVID because I got to focus on my actual job and not the politics of it. So it was more bearable. Then I was having such a good time in COVID. I got pregnant with my daughter. And yeah, so that led me to kind of get focused on back on getting my real estate license because I had to like answer the question like what's the bigger picture? What do I want to do? Do I want to keep working these 50 hours a week? Yes, it's great pay, it's a good job, but at the end of the day, it's not the career that I thought I wanted.
Mm.
And it's not turning out to be anything like I envisioned. Especially after being a mom, I didn't really know how it would fit in. So real estate just made a little bit more sense to me. And the reason why I decided to go into real estate was because I was trying to figure out like I want to do something that's fun that I like doing. But I felt like I didn't have any hobbies at the time. I literally said to myself, the only thing I like doing is shopping and watching HGTV, and that's not a job. And then it kind of came to me like I felt like God spoke to me in that moment and said real estate. And I said, oh my gosh, I could be a real estate agent. So that's where I got the idea from. Fast forward to 2021, I had my daughter. I got my license while I was on maternity leave, and I joined EXP in the Wolf Pack, and it's been history ever since. It's the best decision that I've made. Going to my fourth year, I just couldn't imagine that this life that I've created for myself and my family is like, a dream.
Well, we're so happy that you're here. I am definitely so happy that you're here. And, that's something that I definitely felt from having the opportunity to meet you in person. You're just such a fun spirit. So I know that anybody that, just bump into you, either, for a potential client or a friend, that they're going to have a great time in your presence. So you just have that energy. And I'm sure you attract, clients that way. So now, okay, so you started part-time. I think, so how long it's been now that you're full-time?
Full time 3 years. So 2022, actually. So I guess we're going to be 2026. So it'll be coming up on 4 years in 2026 that I will
Wow.
have been full time.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I do remember just that transition time, and here you are, thriving. So today, obviously you have few years doing full time. As you shared, your mom, you like to have fun, and you know, chose this career so that you can find that flexibility in your life. How was just even like, your mindset of just kind of positioning yourself from being in the corporate retail to now being your own boss?
So I was very intentional with how I wanted to go about this because, like I said, I did want to eventually create that time freedom. But when I first started out, I had a major obligation, which was my full time job. Working 50 hours a week, there wasn't that much time. So I knew that my strategy for succeeding in real estate had to be very precise and it needed to be strategic. So I made the decision to do YouTube as my main lead source because it was something that I could do on my off days. I could have leads coming in. The question that I asked myself is, what would it look like if it was easy? And to me, that would be me putting out a video, people calling me. That's it. Like that was my answer. That's what I wanted to do. And so that's what I did. Also on my off days, me and my husband, we would go out, sometimes with the kids. We would film a video, he would edit it, and we post it on YouTube. And I started that pretty straightforward after, joining EXP, getting my license. I started my YouTube channel right away. And also, I always want to put this disclaimer out there. I did still do traditional prospecting. So I did cold call. I got my first deal from cold calling because I felt like that was something that I could also do on my off day that would
Mhm.
give me quick results and more immediate results. And that's exactly how it happened. So on my off days, I would cold call for an hour. Then we would go film a video and then I would do, things for my YouTube. So I did two things at once. And then actually, if you want to add on a third thing that I was doing, I was posting on social media to my sphere, on Facebook, on Instagram. And that got me a lot of leads just from, introducing myself as Marty the Realtor now to my friends and family.
Yep.
And that was really my gateway into getting momentum. I started my channel, I believe my first video was like August of 2021. And I didn't get my first lead until like I got my first lead, but I would say my first solid lead that actually closed was in April of 2022. So up until that time, we were putting out one video a week. I would get leads calling, and that's one of the main reasons why I was able to leave my job because not only, like I said, I got my first deal through prospecting, I got another deal through my sphere. And by the time it was, early 2022, I was like, I think that I'm getting calls from YouTube. I'm getting them on a weekly basis. And I think I'm at the point where I can leave my job because I have some money saved up. I have my 401k. I have
Mm-hmm.
this momentum that's building. And although I haven't had like a serious buyer come through yet from YouTube, I can feel that it's happening.
Yeah.
So I gave them a 6 week notice because I'm a very nice person. So I gave them a 6 week notice. I left on April 1st, 2022. And by April 14th, I had my first client from YouTube under contract. And so it
Wow.
all just kind of fell into place like that. And it was something that I wasn't sure was going to work for me. I just felt like, who finds a house online? Number one. Number two, there's other agents out here doing it. Why would they call me versus calling somebody else? And these are like limiting beliefs that I struggled with for the first, honestly, 3 years of my career. Like, here we are, year 4 or year 5, and I'm finally free of that mindset because it's worked enough for me over these years that now I just trust the process. If I'm busy and I can't stay consistent, I don't freak out. I know like all I have to do is start that train again and get back on track, and my results will come in. So that's pretty much where I am right now in my career. It's been, a crazy good time. But yeah, from that evolution of me just cold calling and putting up one YouTube video a week till now, I learned so much. And yeah, whatever you want to know, just ask away. I'm happy to share with you.
Yeah, no, I love that you shared that, like obviously we all are different people and, learn and take things differently, but, it almost took you 3 years, even though getting results, just to be like, I
Hmm.
can do this, this works. And this process, just like I keep showing up, I keep, trusting the process, the results gonna come. And because sometimes we just think like, if I only do few cold callings, or if I just do few videos, or, and then you want that immediate result, and it took you almost a year to close a deal. Yes, you got
Hmm.
some leads, but actually getting that first close deal from someone
Yeah.
from YouTube. And obviously now it's more a frequent one. So today, I know you shared, you did different few lead sources. Like, what is your main one? So you're still doing YouTube. Are you doing anything else that it's supplementing? Or obviously, I get it. People can come to you because they know who you are. You're building a brand, but is YouTube your like main lead source?
So YouTube is actually not my main lead source. Well, actually, so I take that back. Sorry. YouTube is my main lead source. So I get the most leads from YouTube. My biggest closed deal source, though, is not YouTube. It's actually my sphere.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just by posting on social, like I hit my sphere. And I'm posting the same things pretty much that I'm posting on my YouTube. Also, they follow me on YouTube. So, that it kind of ties in together. But specifically, my number one lead source is YouTube. My number one closed deals is my sphere. But YouTube is my baby because it is the highest average purchase price.
Mm-hmm.
So I am closing more in volume from YouTube, even though the number of transactions is not as much. And I am very like, I love Excel, I love spreadsheets. So I keep track of my leads that come in. I put them in my spreadsheet. I look at the conversion rate. I have all my little formulas in there. I look at my GCI. And so I can now every month go back and look and see, okay, where are my leads coming in? Where do I need to put more effort into? And that's what I do. So YouTube is definitely still, I consider that the bread and butter. It just has a lower conversion rate because there's people that have other options out there, or they might not be ready to buy right now. My niche is new construction relocation. So people are calling me like 2 years out, which is
Mm-hmm.
great. I'm building my pipeline, but
Yeah.
that's also not like, okay, we're going to get a deal done today.
Mm-hmm.
There are instances a few times a year where people say they want to move in 30 to 60 days. I'll be in town this weekend. I want to get something under contract. I love those deals, but the majority of it is going to be like 6 months out, up to a year. And you have to be okay with that. And once you know how to work those deals, it becomes easier because if I have somebody that comes to me and says, I want to buy a year out, okay, well, when are you going to be in town next month. Okay, so the build process takes about a year. So when you come into town, you might find something that you like. We're going to go ahead and get you pre-approved. We're going to look at the houses and then you can customize these houses however you want. And they'll be ready by the time you're ready. And they love it. It's a solution they didn't even know they needed or had available to them. And that's why I do feel like also I have a higher conversion than, well, I don't know about other agents, but I can just only imagine like a lot of people get leads, they don't know what to do with them. The majority of people, they get leads and they don't know what to say like 6 months from now. So I don't set you up. It's too early to set up on a search, but it's not far enough to put you on a back burner drip campaign. What do? You need to
Mm-hmm.
get those people in the mindset of buying as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Even though they might not close tomorrow, they could sign tomorrow and close later. So it's just one of the scenarios that I run into. But yeah, I would definitely say that YouTube is my favorite lead source, even though it's not like.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm curious, like, how did you find your niche that you wanted to focus on new construction, new build, and relocation, even for your YouTube? Because obviously you can talk about so many different things, and you could still cover it all in your channel, and it will still make sense. But like, what helped you, figure out like, hey, I want to focus on this because now you know what kind of content you want to post because it's around those two specific things. You're relocating and you're looking for a new build.
Yeah, I think I figured that out because my second and my third deal were both new construction, and I like
Mm,
the process of it. And they also, one of those was a relocation buyer, and I just thought I could solve a problem that somebody looking to relocate to Georgia might have, which is
mm,
not knowing the area because I'm from here. That's very easy. I can tell you all about all over Metro Atlanta. Because you're not here on a daily basis. I'm very good at communicating. So that's something I can do well. And so I looked at the skills that I have versus the things that I enjoy. I kind of put those together.
mm-hmm,
And that's kind of how I got that as my niche. And I didn't come to this conclusion like right away. It took me maybe the end of my first year, first full 365 days of being in the industry to figure out
mm-hmm,
this is my niche and this is only who I'm going to talk to. And couple that with the fact that people like to see pretty things. So I'm going to show pretty homes, pretty new homes. I don't show resales on my channel unless it's my personal listings. So I'm putting out content that people want to consume. My name is Marty Loves Homes because I want people to know not only do I love homes, but I love showing you beautiful homes. And not
mm-hmm.
only do I love showing you beautiful homes, but I know a lot about it and I know a lot about the process. And I'm a great negotiator and I know about the area. So if you're looking to relocate here, I'm the person who you should contact. And you say those in so many words through your videos that you post, but the more videos that you post like that, the more the message is clear that that's your niche. So if somebody's having trouble trying to figure out what their niche is, I would ask, what do you like to do? Because you don't want a niche where you don't enjoy it. So
Yeah,
everybody wants to close $1 million deals, but you might not like that whole process. You might not like working with those type of buyers. So why make that your niche? Like you want to enjoy, life. It's not all about the commission check. So if you like selling land, even though it might be at a lower price point than a luxury niche, focus on land. So that's what I would tell people who's struggling to find their niche.
no, and I love you sharing that as well because I always say that like, we all made, at least I think we all made a decision to be in real estate because I said the lifestyle, the freedom of your time and your choices. So you got to make it fun, right? So you got to be mixing some of the things that you're doing, your outreach or your networking or however what do you like to do with people, that you're going to get your more exposure, but also it's something that you enjoy doing it because otherwise, probably that's the reason why 70% of agents didn't close a deal this year because you're just trying to do what you think is working for someone else and not
Yeah.
necessarily finding what works for you or that you would like to do. Because I think all strategies work. It's going to be the consistency of time, and you are proof of that. Like, I I did a little bit of YouTube in the beginning of it, more towards buyers and sellers, but I was just not feeling the energy of doing it. I felt like I just had to because that's one of the things so many people in our group are successful. But I
Hmm.
felt like I was dreading it every time I was doing those videos. And now that I shifted my channel to speak to the agent and to do this podcast, and other people get a chance to hear for other amazing realtors, like my energy level, it's like up here. So I was just like, oh, I love doing these videos. I love talking about how you can improve your business. So you just need to figure out like what works for you, because you
Yeah.
will feel the level of your energy. And the most amazing thing here too, guys, as you're like listening to all of this, if you have any questions or any comments, definitely put them, because we will reach out to you. And then on the descriptions, we will have Marty's contact information, because not only she's here to just, speak about her journey and her story, which is totally amazing, but she's here also to support you if it's something that you want to just, chat more of what that would look like, help her, help find your niche, because sometimes you just need to talk through it.
Yeah.
And, she's someone that can definitely help you with that. So definitely book a call with her. So, Marty, now that, yeah, exactly, let's start 2026, with the right foot, and
Yep.
just like, get it going, because we don't want to wait until the end of the year and feel again that, we didn't do all the best we could to our
Exactly.
business, because our business impacts our lives, impacts our family, impacts our, state of mind. So let's be mindful of how we're spending our time. And so I know you're sharing some of the things that have been working for you specifically, but now kind of putting, on the shoes of maybe a new agent, right? Just like, again, we're talking about, like, they could come and there's so many different things that they could do and niche down and all of that. But specific to YouTube, since it's something that you have, find success in it. What would it be some of, like, either tips or just ideas for someone just kind of thinking about getting to YouTube, for opening a channel in the city where they live, and just kind of getting started? Because I know there's so many things in your mind that want to stop you from doing it, but like,
Yeah.
kind of any suggestion for someone that is considering adding YouTube as part of a lead source for their business?
Well, I would just start off by saying make sure that's something that you want to do because, like you said, you didn't really vibe with it. It wasn't your thing. So try it out and see if you like it. You might not like filming videos. You might not, that might not be your thing. So if it's not, that's okay. There are other ways to get leads. But
Yep.
if it is, make sure that you're consistent in whatever your schedule and your idea of putting out videos frequently is. Make sure you stick with that. I start off one video a week. I think that's a lot when you have to film and you have to edit the videos and all that kind of stuff. And then once you get busy, right now, like when you're new, you might have more time than money, right? So you can actually spend time focusing, editing, filming on the videos to put on your YouTube. Then you're going to get to a point where you're getting busy, whether the season's changing or you're just getting more leads and stuff. And that's going to be a bottleneck for you. You're going to have to figure out if you're going to delegate that work to edit your videos, or if you're going to continue to, block off that time where you can get it done. But no matter what you decide to do, be consistent and you're posting, because if you don't, YouTube will punish you. I've gone through it a couple times in my career. And what I will say about that is you can always bounce back because it is unrealistic. I had the channel going on for 5 years, right? So it's a little unrealistic for me to think that I could post every single day, getting busy in the summertime, especially going through different stages of life and not miss a week or it just gets unrealistic at that point. So don't be hard on yourself if you do mess up and you can't stick to your schedule. But that's also why I'd suggest, like, don't try to put out 2 videos a week. Don't try to put out 3 videos a week. If you can do every other week, then that's fine too. But it's about that consistency. Whatever you start doing, continue to do it. And then if you're able to scale and you're able to get some systems in place that allows you to do more without actually making you feel like you're doing more, then, take advantage of that too. The second thing that I would tell somebody is to just try different things until you figure out what works for you or what you enjoy doing the most. So if you're really good at giving data and talking to the camera, you can make your videos interesting to where people stay on them, where you're talking about market updates, then do that. If you're
Mhm.
doing neighborhood tours, do that. If you're doing model home tours like me, do that. I've done a little bit of both. And although I've had some success in different videos, my highest converting videos still tend to be the model home tours. And just to add them or make them a little different and show a little bit of personality, I've changed some of the ways where I do my model home tours. So now you're always going to see me on camera. I'm going to tell you what I like, three of my favorite places within the home, and
Mhm.
why I like them. I might make a little joke here and there, and people connect with that. Like, it's a small thing that I'm adding to the videos, but I've increased the calls that I've gotten because people now they see the personality. Now they know, oh, she's really nice. I want to work with her. And by the time they pick up the phone to call you, they've already made up their mind that you're who they want to work with. And I love those calls.
Yeah.
Um, and then the other thing that I would say as a piece of advice, do not compare yourself to other agents.
Mm.
Don't look at any other agent's channel. Do your own thing. Don't do it. Don't do it because you'll waste a lot of time worrying, having imposter syndrome, trying to change up your strategy because you see something that somebody else is doing that's different. That's one of the things that I really had to stop doing when I first got in the industry. I had followed a whole bunch of agents, like right when I got started, because I wanted ideas and stuff like that. And then I'm like starting to compare myself to them, and I'm starting
Mhm.
to feel bad because I didn't close $1 million in deals this month, but I just got started. Like, why would I? So
Mhm.
comparison is the thief of joy. Don't do it. I unfollowed all the agents now. Only follow agents that's in the wolf pack, or that I've met maybe recently at like a marketing event or something like that. So there's very few agents that I follow because I don't want to compare myself to them. So I would suggest social media, YouTube, whatever, stay away from other agents and comparing yourself to other people.
No, I actually, it's funny because I went through that as well in the beginning. It's just like there was someone, not that I actually compete with anybody. I know some people actually do thrive writing
Yeah,
like, oh, if they're closing that many deals, it's gonna push me to do more of that.
I don't
I'm
do
I'm more on the
that.
collaboration side of things. But
Yeah.
there was someone specifically that was just like, I cannot see them closing one more deal. So
I
I
have to
kind of
unfollow
Yes, and he was
or
someone that I
mute
actually
them.
like and care. So it was not like I was not happy for them, but it was making me like actually was taking energy from me to go do my job. So I had to unfollow them until like I was just like, okay, I think I am more confident in myself, and then I followed them back.
Yeah,
So it is totally okay to be real, right? And I think you're talking about like being authentic and how you're doing your videos, showing your personality, because I think that's what is going to make you different than other agents, because
yeah,
people want to connect with people, and they, who they're going to work with. It's going to be a lot of times it's going to be that. It's just how you talk and just being yourself. They know when you're trying too hard, that you say something, but then maybe in person you're completely different, so be who you are. And I feel like the camera is really doing YouTube. You really can be yourself. Like,
yeah,
nobody's watching here when I'm recording, right? So I can be myself exactly how I am off camera. So
yeah,
definitely use, some of those advices because they are key. And I think Mike says this a lot, that is just like it's better to do it. It's better as not perfect, but you actually get it done. And even if you miss a week, but you get right back into it, because also you can get into that spinny rabbit, like, oh my gosh, I didn't do this week, I fell, and
mhm,
then before you know, it could be months that you
yeah,
haven't
yeah,
posted anything. Um, so as always, wrapping up, we're starting the year, and I know you're doing great. I know and that you're strong and it's just getting better year over year. I know you're juggling a lot of different things because you still are, living a full life. Um, and I wanted to make this a little bit more specific for the ladies. If sorry guys, but just for the ladies that maybe might be watching this right now with this question, just like being a mom, being a wife, obviously, you're a friend, all of those things, like how it has been for you to be able to just kind of to manage it all and obviously have a successful business.
Yeah, so I think that for me, it's having a village to help
Mm,
because my mom, when I started like getting doing well in real estate, she left her job. I mean, she was only working part-time, but she retired from her job to help me out. And so I said, hey, I'll pay you, so you'll keep your same quality of life, but I need you to help with the kids. So
mhm,
she gets them 5 days out of the week, sometimes six if I really need her. And she's there because my husband, he's working alongside me. So
mhm,
we're both in the same industry. He also had his own YouTube channel at the time too, and we just like had to kind of put our resources together and figure out like how we're going to do this. So now we have a very good schedule. And then my kids are getting older. So my daughter, who I had when I got into real estate, she's now 4. She's in preschool. So now I have like 5 days out of the week where I know I can be working at least until 1 o'clock.
mhm.
But then, like I said, my mom for 4 of those days, she jumps in and she gets it for me. Um, Recently, especially this summer, my business kind of like took off, and I wasn't expecting it. I had no idea that 2025 was going to be my breakout year because I thought I did well in 2024 and I was just trying to keep up with that. But it kind of took off. So summer all the way up until October, I was going, going, going. It became very stressful. Um, I felt like I was extending myself, and I felt like also like nobody really knows. Pause. Is the sun in the way? Do I need to?
No, you're good.
You
Yeah.
good? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No. It's just
So
highlighting more of your face.
it is. It's like my whole face. So let me see if I can scoot back. Okay, that's good. I just felt like, and I felt like nobody understood. Like, not only am I working, doing these showings and going on listing appointments, picking up the kids, taking them to their extracurricular activity, I'm supposed to come home and cook and clean. What? This is crazy. And I got very overwhelmed with that. And then recently, within the last couple of months, I just decided I cannot do the same thing in 2026. I
Mhm,
have to come up with a business plan that's going to not only keep up with the business, but allow me to have the time that I need to take care of my home. So one
mhm,
of my off days is on Thursdays because that's one of the days that my mom doesn't, watch my kids. I pick them up from school and stuff like that and take them to their extracurriculars. So Thursdays is what I call my CEO of home days. And the
mm.
only thing I'm doing on that day is taking care of home. So I'm cleaning, I'm doing laundry, I'm, doing everything that I don't get to do on the other days. I try not to answer my phone, especially if it's not important. If somebody calls me, I say, hey, I'm a little busy today. I have meetings, but
You
I'm
do.
available tomorrow. We talk tomorrow. If a client gives me a request, I say, okay, I'm off today, but we'll take care of it tomorrow. And that has been so refreshing because it's like a reset day for me. And then also on Sundays are the days like I love watching NFL football. And so my ideal Sunday is laying around the house watching football all day. And so I really try not to do much on Sunday either as some time to be with my family or go to church or watch football with my husband. Sometimes I might have open houses that I have to do out of, responsibility to my sellers. But other than that, I try not to schedule anything on those days. And just by like carving those 2 days out, not mixing it, like making it gray. Like, is it an off day? Am I working? What am I doing? And doing a little bit of work here and there. Like, no, it's gonna be no work. That has helped me so much,
Mm,
which is the balance. Because like I said, the other days my kids they go to school, they go to my mom's, I pick them up, and then, I'm with them. But so they don't see all that work. But when they are here, I wanted to make sure that they're not just seeing me work. They're not seeing me like just like, hey, mommy has a business call, because I was doing that a lot. And being in that environment where I'm running around all the time is stressful. I get short tempered. I get like, it's just not pleasant to be around me, So I had to figure out how to make that change. And it came down to like, I need to have my dedicated time to my family so I can be a good mom and a good wife and all that stuff. And then maybe it'll make me cook more, but honestly, it hasn't. So I figure it's most important that my kids get a present mom, and also not on my phone all the time, because that is a struggle for me. Um so yeah, it's definitely hard. It's not much of a balance, but you kind of have to figure out through trial and error what's going to work for you. But don't be afraid to step away. Don't feel like you're going to lose business because you decide to take one day off. Because if somebody doesn't want to work with you because you didn't answer a phone on one day, they're not your client anyways. They're not the
yeah.
right client
Yeah.
anyway.
And I love that because I mean, honestly, that is an advice for anybody. It doesn't matter if you're, a working mom or, working dads out there too, because I feel like I am like literally going through that right now. It's just like, I need a day off. Like, and I'm trying to figure out which day that is on my week. And it's been a challenge, but I was just like, this cannot go on. I just need to have like, even if it's a half a day I'm not like still work mode because every time they say like, oh, I'm just gonna take a half day, an email comes in or a call comes in, and I'm still there. I'm
Yeah,
still
that's
like,
what I'm saying. It's those gray areas, those days where you give yourself a little room. You got to just cut it out.
yeah, yeah,
Put your phone on
yeah,
do not disturb. Only family can call you, or get another phone.
yeah.
And just because you're not going to regret doing it.
No, and I feel like you're definitely, I don't know if you're speaking to someone out there, but you're speaking to me. I was just like, my God, I just like literally left a call yesterday with my coach just talking about that. She's just like, I think you need a schedule time off on your calendar. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, it's probably right. It's
Yeah.
probably
And
right.
then
Because
on Wednesdays, I have a half a day. I only work to 3 on Wednesdays because that's my mom's half a day. So my schedule goes with whatever my mom's
mm-hmm,
schedule is.
mm-hmm,
Whenever I have to pick up the kids, like that's my schedule. So, there was a time before, like not when I was like this busy in 2025, but 2024, 2023, I was getting away. Well, I say 2024, I was most comfortable. And I was working like 3 days a week. It
mm,
was good. I loved it. I made 250 GCI that year. But then
nice.
when the leads started coming in and the market, I was just saying, I don't want to keep saying I don't know where it came from, because I do. The little seeds that I sown over the years, they started to grow and they
Absolutely,
started to be
absolutely.
ready for harvest, and it happened in 2025. And so there is no more 3-4 day work weeks for me. I had to, it was like 5-6 days, almost sometimes 7 days, especially in the summer. And so that's like when like it started to be like, I can't keep track of clothes. I can't keep track of anything. If you ask me, like I have to look at my calendar. That's when I know I'm too busy. Like if I can't recall it, dates, important dates really
Yeah.
quick, I know I'm too busy. I know I need to slow down. And it was kind of a wake up call. After everything calmed down, I started planning for 2026. How do I want my business to evolve? How do I want to scale? And a coach that I had recently started following, she said to me, it's not a bad thing if you don't double your production next year. Because I
Mm.
explained to her, like, hey, I did this amount of money, and I want to do this amount next year. Why? Are you comfortable where you are? I said, yes. I paid off a lot of debt. I'm living like below my means. I'm saving, I'm investing, I'm doing all the things that I want to do. Why do I need to double what I did? Because because it's a goal. So for
Yeah.
me to be successful doesn't necessarily mean I need to double my production from this
Mm,
year. It's more like a quality of life. So I'm kind of
mm,
like rethinking how what I feel like success is. And so if next year I only do 400,000, that was a good year. It wasn't going to be, it's not as much as I did this year, but it's better than I did, previous years before. And what she said is success is not, it's not always like upward
mhm.
movement. Sometimes it's up, down, but you're trending up still, but it's not necessarily like high, high, high. Sometimes
Yeah.
high, low, but you're still trending up. And I think that was the thing that was just put my life into more perspective, my work life, I guess, into more perspective to where I feel like, okay, even if I only did 100K next year, like I would be fine, you
Yeah.
know? But I bet you I would have all this time to spend with my kids. I bet you we'd be so happy, you know?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
it's just it's a different way of success. And I know starting out as a new agent, you want to do the most you can because you have bills to pay and you want to do all this stuff. But it's really important to make sure that the majority of your goals is not a number.
Yeah.
You know, it should be 10, it should be, not fiscally related.
And I love that because you've been in business for almost 5 years and you having that perspective. I've heard that sometimes from people that maybe have been in the business like 10, 15 years because they're just so burned out, right? Because the more money they made, the more expenses they created, which I know it can be a typical thing that a lot of us do. And then now you need to maintain it. So you stressful working more because you need to maintain that lifestyle,
Yeah.
but now you're not even enjoying it as much as you used to, because if you don't work more, you cannot go enjoy it, but then you don't even have the time and freedom to really go enjoy it. So finding that balance sooner than later, it's super super critical. Well,
Yeah.
Marty, it's been amazing chatting with you. And
Yeah.
everybody, if you guys have been watching this, I know you've been following the channel and I've been sharing this. Obviously we love, being part of the wolf pack. As I say, like, Marty and I, we became friends from just, being part of this incredible organization. And if this seems like an invite for you, that's exactly what it is. I'm going to have, Marty's calendar link on the description below, and if you wanted to chat more with her, you have the opportunity that you can partner with both of us. Get I know we have different sides of the business and how we do it, but in the end of the day, the most important thing, like, we're fun, our hearts are involved, like, we want to see everybody succeed.
Yeah.
So if that's you, that if you're looking what's next, you want to have a conversation, because we're totally not a pressure type of person. We would love to have that conversation and see, if this is the right fit for you. And if it is, obviously we'll love to welcome you. So make sure that you just don't wait, before you go on with your day, that you just schedule that call and,
Yeah.
just have a conversation. And that's
Yeah.
what we're doing here, just having a conversation. Marty, thank you so much. I
Thank
love
you for
you. And I'm
having
so
me.
excited that you're able to make time to be here on the channel. I love what you're doing. You're definitely an inspiration. And I'm
Thank
excited
you.
to see, more of everything that you're doing in 2026.
Yes, me too. Thank you for having me, Amanda. And I look forward to talking to all of y'all that watch this. Give us a call. And like she said, we'll be happy to talk to you, have a conversation with you.
That's right. Alrighty, my friend. I will talk to you later. And this video, it's done. Go take action, everybody. See you later. Bye.
Bye.